BTS News.01 was truly prepared for how the world seemed to shift in a single breath the moment those two names, Park Jimin and John Jungkook, appeared at the arrival doors of Incheon International Airport on a humid, fog-soaked dawn. Even the airport staff admitted they sensed something unusual long before their plane landed. Normally, rumors would spread, schedules would leak, or at least some hint would surface that signaled their return. But this time, there was no announcement, no mysterious Weverse post, no producer dropping cryptic comments. Only a strange silence like the stillness right before a storm tears open the sky. The private jet, wrapped in titanium plating and owned by a global company that refused to be named, landed earlier than scheduled. Internal sources revealed that the flight was supposed to touch down at 6:40 a.m. Yet suddenly, without warning, it hit the runway at 5:17 a.m., an entire hour early. An odd choice, a timing usually reserved only for urgent situations or when someone is deliberately avoiding public attention. But as history has repeatedly shown with BTS, anything meant to be hidden inevitably becomes the world's greatest curiosity. When the airplane door finally opened, only one word filled the VIP arrival hall: strange. Not because they had just returned from a secret schedule. ARMY had long grown accustomed to the layered mysteries of BTS behind-the-scenes world. Not because HYB staff were suspiciously absent from managing security. What was strange, what felt undeniably wrong, was the expression on both members' faces. Two people who had spent years sharing laughter, warmth, and a bond that felt like home to millions. Jungkook walked out first. His black hoodie covered nearly his whole face, except his eyes, reddened, swollen, as if from lack of sleep or from crying. Unusual. Jungkook normally walked with steady steps, sometimes holding a drink, sometimes sticking out his tongue playfully, sometimes waving shyly, even on days when he was exhausted. But today he didn't glance sideways, didn't greet anyone, didn't show even the smallest sign that things were fine. A few seconds later, Jimin followed. If Jungkook looked like silent heaviness, Jimin looked like a storm barely contained. Many noticed his trembling hand gripping the handle of his suitcase. His eyes stared straight ahead but glimmered with held-back emotion, as though he was fighting something deep in his chest. One airport staff member said Jimin exhaled deeply 4 times in a row before stepping out, the way a person might try to hold themselves together right before breaking. Then it happened, the moment that froze everyone witnessing it. As soon as they stepped out of the VIP corridor, unfamiliar security personnel, clearly not HYB employees, immediately separated them. Not violently but unmistakably. One guard gently guided Jungkook toward the north exit. 2 others pulled Jimin's luggage toward the east exit. Jungkook turned back for a moment. Jimin turned too. Their eyes met. Only for a second. But that second was enough for everyone who saw it to know something had happened. Something big. Something unusual for 2 people who had spent years sharing stages, studios, secrets, and a private world built on trust and closeness. In an amateur video that later spread like wildfire online, someone is heard whispering, "Why are they being separated? They're always together." And that question instantly became the core of the explosion that swept across South Korea that entire day. What actually happened? HYB gave no answer. The company was silent. No statement, no clarification, not even a hint that they were aware of the situation. The silence only worsened the mystery. Some ARMY at the airport reported seeing Jimin inhale sharply when a staff member blocked him from following Jungkook. There was even a small moment where Jimin seemed to take a step forward, his lips parting as if to call out, but he stopped. He lowered his eyes, pulled his mask up further, and walked away quickly. Jungkook remained completely quiet. No murmurs, no gestures, none of his usual nervous habits. He simply walked ahead, eyes fixed forward, each step heavy, as if he were carrying something invisible. Speculation exploded instantly. Some said they had just finished a secret overseas project but something went wrong. Others believed there had been an unexpected incident during the secret schedule. But the most shocking rumor suggested a serious internal disagreement between them, serious enough that HYB allegedly intervened by separating them upon arrival. But that theory collapsed quickly when another image surfaced, a photo of Jimin in the east hallway of the airport, stopping for a brief moment. He stared at the floor with a fragile expression, far too vulnerable for a simple disagreement. If it had been a fight, why did both of them look like they were holding back 1,000 emotions? Another insider claimed that during their secret overseas schedule, Jimin and Jungkook had attended a confidential meeting involving global entertainment figures who wanted to recruit them for a sensitive future project. Something about that meeting, some decision may have taken an emotional toll on both. And yet, these were still just whispers. Nothing concrete. Nothing that could satisfy the world's curiosity. Then CCTV footage leaked briefly before being taken down. The video showed the two standing together near the baggage racks, moments before being separated. Jimin held his phone tightly. Jungkook kept his hands buried in his hoodie pockets. They exchanged a long look. A long, slow, heavy look, too deliberate to be casual. Jimin lowered his gaze first. Jungkook bit his lower lip. Moments later, staff arrived. And the separation began. By that point, the world knew. This wasn't normal. This wasn't routine. This was something else. When the van carrying Jungkook left the parking area, one fan close enough swore they saw Jungkook wipe his eyes with the back of his hand. Jimin, who left minutes later, leaned his head against the window of his van. Eyes closed, breathing slow, expression unreadable. Throughout the day, online platforms erupted. Hashtags flooded timelines. Media outlets begged for confirmation. Army communities split into dozens of theories. But one truth stood above the noise. Something had happened, something deep, something emotional, something that was not small, and the world waited for any sign from either of them. It finally came. That night, Jungkook posted a 3-second Instagram story. Only 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds made the world hold its breath. The clip showed a dimly lit room, hotel or dorm, unclear. The camera wavered slightly, and then came Jungkook's breathing. Soft, shaky, like someone who had just finished crying. No words. No captions, just that trembling breath. 15 minutes later, Jimin posted on Weverse. Not a video, not a photo, just one sentence. I need a little time. No context, no clarification, no hint whether he was referring to himself, Jungkook, or something much larger. But one thing became painfully clear. Whatever happened during their secret schedule, whatever broke their silence on the plane, whatever caused the immediate separation at the airport, it was not small, it was not trivial, and it would not disappear overnight. This was the beginning of something no one had expected, and the world could do nothing but wait, wonder, theorize, and hope that the two who had weathered countless storms together would somehow find their way back to each other again. Because if history had proven anything, it was that Jimin and Jungkook faced their hardest moments together. But this time they were separated. And that was the mystery that kept the entire world awake that night.
They'll be calling